A police officer, sworn to protect, decides that strip searching an innocent woman is a game, a joke, something to do for fun on a quiet night. He doesn't know it yet, but that woman's husband, he's not the forgiving type. Hours later, that same cop wakes up, not in his bed, not in a hospital, but on a cold concrete floor, drenched in petrol. The smell burning his nostrils, a single voice whispering from the dark, "You thought it was funny? Let's see how funny this is." This is the story of a man who pushed the wrong person too far and discovered that karma doesn't always wait for the courtroom. Don't move. This one's going to keep you glued to your seat. Bumpy wasn't a saint. Let's get that straight right now. He'd grown up hard, wrong side of the tracks kind of hard. Ran with the wrong crowd in his younger days, made mistakes he'd never try to defend. But somewhere along the line, Bumpy turned his life around, got married, settled down, found peace. His wife, Maria, was the kind of woman who lit up every room she walked into, kind, gentle, the type who'd help a stranger without thinking twice. They lived in a small town where everyone knew everyone, including the cops, and that's where Officer Derek Haynes comes in. Haynes was the kind of cop that gives every good officer a bad name, arrogant, bullying, the guy who'd pull you over just to remind you he could, small man, big badge, dangerous combination. He'd had his eye on Bumpy for a while, not because Bumpy was doing anything wrong, but because Bumpy was the kind of guy who didn't bow. And that bothered Haynes more than anything. So one night, Haynes decided to send a message. Not to Bumpy directly. No. He went for something softer. He went for Maria. Maria was driving home from her late shift at the hospital when the blue lights lit up behind her. She hadn't been speeding. She hadn't run a stop. She hadn't done anything. But it didn't matter, because Derek Haynes wasn't pulling her over for a traffic violation. He was pulling her over for entertainment. He made her step out of the car, patted her down aggressively, made crude comments, laughed with his partner who was recording the whole thing on his phone. When Maria asked why she was being detained, Haynes just smiled and said, "Standard procedure, ma'am, nothing to worry about." But there was nothing standard about it. There was no procedure. There was no reason. This was humiliation as sport. He kept her on the side of that road for 45 minutes, searching her car, tossing her belongings, making her stand in the cold while he ran her information he never even checked. Then he let her go. No ticket, no explanation, just a smirk and a, "Have a nice night, ma'am." Maria drove home shaking, not from the cold, from the shame, from the rage she was trying so hard to swallow. When she walked through the door, Bumpy knew something was wrong instantly. He could see it in her eyes, that look that said someone had broken something inside her. She told him everything, and Bumpy, he just sat there, quiet, listening. His jaw locked so tight you could hear his teeth grind. He didn't yell, he didn't throw anything. He just said 5 words, "I'll handle this myself." Bumpy didn't file a complaint. He didn't call a lawyer. He didn't go to the media. He went old school. It took him 3 days to track down Haynes' routine, the bar he drank at after shifts, the route he drove home, the time he typically passed out, face down, mouth open, too drunk to hear a bomb go off. On the 4th night, Bumpy made his move. He slipped into Haynes' apartment through a back window the cop never bothered to lock. Lazy, arrogant, just like him. Haynes was passed out on the couch, still in his uniform, boots on the coffee table, TV flickering in the dark. Bumpy stood over him for a long moment, just watching, letting the silence do the talking. Then he went to work. He didn't touch Haynes. Not yet. First, he took the cop's phone, his badge, his service weapon, placed them all on the kitchen counter, neatly, like items on a display shelf. Then, he opened the container of petrol he'd brought with him, and he poured. Not on the floor, not on the walls, on Derek Haynes, soaked his uniform, his arms, his chest, his legs, until the smell was so thick it felt like you could chew on it. Then Bumpy sat down in the chair across the room, and he waited. Haynes woke up coughing. His eyes burned. His skin was slick with something cold and wrong. He tried to sit up, and that's when he heard the voice. "Don't move." Haynes froze. His hand instinctively reached for his hip, but his holster was empty. His phone was gone. His badge was gone. Everything was gone. Bumpy was sitting in,